Elena, veterinary nutritionist of Monge. Today my mission is to highlight the main point of distinction of our dietetic food called the Vet Solution line. We have to mention that all of our product has been developed without the use of cereal. The recipe has been enhanced by primary antioxidant, superoxy dismutase, next generation of prebiotics and nucleotide. So for a dietetic line, we have developed a very innovative lines.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Talking Dogs with Ante. I'm sure that many of you are excited about my interview tonight because when we have published the ads with my guests tonight, there have been a lot of nice comments, and I see that the number of comments and the number of people joining our live tonight is growing from minute to minute. So I'm very excited about tonight. But before, of course, I introduce my guest, I just want to say to you that, of course, we need to say thank you to our sponsors for tonight. This is Monge. Monge is one of the companies which is following us from the day number one, for which I'm extremely thankful, and they are going to follow us also in 2023. And another company is Dr. Wet Group, who has joined us this year and is going to follow us during 2023. Thank you also to them for supporting this project. As I said many times, without our sponsors, unfortunately, it would be impossible to have these interviews every Wednesday free for all of you. So let's support them, and let's say from all of us, thank you for supporting this project, which I think is really a nice thing for the dog world. Last Wednesday, we had a young breeder, exhibitor, and a judge, Joe Borges from Switzerland. We were talking mostly about Chihuahuas. Tonight, we have a person which I think that every serious dog person has seen at least on the photo, if not met in live. She has been in dogs, you will hear it later on, literally since she was born. She has been traveling all around the world. She has been having incredible success, especially with Basset Hounds and Portuguese water dogs, but we are going to talk about all that. There are a lot of people joining you with the comments. I don't want to put any pressure on you, but I want for the start to say good evening to Marta Flores, my guest tonight from Portugal. How are you, Marta?
Hello, good evening. Thank you for the invitation. I'm fine, thank you for now.
Wow, no, trust me, it's just better and better. Well, as I said, I'm not going to put any pressure on you, but there are a lot of people watching this live. There are a lot of comments coming. Charlotte is saying hello from Sweden. Carlos Pedroso saying hello from Brazil. Crony saying good evening from Athens. Terje saying hello from the Aqua Fortis Kennel, Norway. Elinor watching from Sweden. Elizabeth saying hello from Sweden. We love you, Marta. Maria Olson, I like this, says hello from Sweden, watching the snow falling outside, but I told my husband I have a very important meeting to attend so he can do the shoveling himself. I'm super excited, and I'm sure this will be a great interview and great got to know to another dog person. Of course, Andrew Brace is with us saying hello, everyone from a freezing Cheshire. We enjoy tonight. Mary is watching from USA. Annika Ultrate Moo saying hello. We listen tonight. You must be the most happy winner ever. Was an honor to give the group to you in Stockholm. A super lineup, but you and Cash was shining. So there are a lot of nice comments, a lot of important people watching, but no pressure. You will see after a little while, it will be just like you and me in a living room talking dogs. I'm sure you will enjoy it, and I'm sure our viewers are going to enjoy it even more, which is, of course, at the end, the most important thing. Normally, Marta, when I start my interviews, I first go to the past to see how did it all start. But with you, I want to do it a little bit different. I want to go also to the past, but a very recent past. You have won first of all, you had incredible 2022, if we are talking about all the winnings and everything. But you have finished the year with winning Best in Show at the famous Voitaja Winner Show in Helsinki, and then the weekend after, Best in Show at the Stockholm Winner Show. Now, when everything has calmed down a little bit after these two great wins, how do you feel about it, and how was the experience?
My God, I just don't have words to still, because it's like it was like a dream, you know, because it's like strange, you know, because sometimes I feel that I'm still dreaming, that I'm still just dreaming about it. It was like amazing. And it was, you know, because people say, oh, you were dancing. And it's true, because I was really, really happy. I couldn't believe in all of that.
Yeah, I mean, we all know not only the quality of the dogs that are being shown in Helsinki and Stockholm, also the numbers of entries, but then also I think both of these dogs, except that they are like amazingly organized in every sense, there is this kind of a special atmosphere, and I think it is definitely, you know, to win best in show in Helsinki and Stockholm must be for sure something very special for you, something that you will treasure forever.
Yes, it's true. It's true. And about atmosphere, it's like another world. I think both shows it's like another world. And in Sweden, you can see all the people applauding, shouting, and it was like, and you know, it was a bit Swedish, and so some of the things I didn't understood. So it was quite difficult for me to understand that I was winning. And I was talking with the judge and asking, listen, did this mean I won? And she said, totally did. And I said, wow. So it was all of that. It was like all of that. I knew that I had a nice dog, of course, but you know, to win those shows, it's like amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big thing, and it's a big dream for many people in the dog world. And I think many people will, you know, finish their lives just dreaming about winning both Helsinki and Stockholm. You have done it. Big congratulations for that. That has been just one of the big wins, of course, of your life. There have been many other ones, but we will talk more about that. Let's go now really to the past. From the CV that you sent to me, I would say actually everything started with your father. Your father was breeding first the German Shepherds. Later on, he started to breed Portuguese pointing dogs and the boxers. So you were actually raised in a family which was breeding, showing purebred dogs. Tell me a little bit the story of your father. What you know, how did he start with the world of purebred dogs, and how did that influence your decision to stay later on in the dog world?
I really don't remember, to be very honest, about when he was breeding German Shepherd, because I was too young. And so I knew that I had quite some memories, but not a lot. So I think my life started with the Portuguese pointing dogs and boxers, but boxers were more with my sisters. My life was in the dog show, start with the Portuguese pointing dogs. That's where I started. And so behind, I don't remember. I cannot say that I remember it, because it was not an easy life for all of us. And so for me, it was my life in the dog world started with the Portuguese pointing dogs.
And do you know if your father was the first generation of dog breeders and exhibitors, or it was before people in your family who were involved with the
No, he was the first generation. That I'm sure about.
Yeah, okay. And it was the whole family involved? Did you travel a lot to the shows with your father, or it was just on a small scale?
Sorry?
I say, was it you and your father, you were traveling a lot, or you were just showing mostly in Portugal? Was he really?
No. Just Portugal. Maybe some shows in Spain near, but not a lot. Just more Portugal.
Okay. Tell me, do you remember your first dog show? Well, maybe not the first dog show, but the first show on which you were showing a dog.
Yes, I was in Lisbon showing a dog in the zoo. There was a big show in Lisbon in the zoo. And so that was where I started. I remember quite well. I really remember.
How old you were?
I think I was like maybe 12, 13, I think.
And how did you do? Did you win or did you lose?
I think I got a good or something. Because it's not, I think because they were like wooden boxes still, you couldn't take the dog in a cage. So they had to stay in those wooden, like crafts, you know, like wooden, I don't remember the name. And so the dog was there, and then we waited for the decision of the judge after they came, and they put you on the wooden thing. What was the? And I think I got like a good or something. But it was my dog, so I didn't care. It was my dog, so.
Tell me, more or less, I would say, in a way, your life has changed when you were 17. You wrote me that you started to work as a kennel girl, and you started to show dogs for 2 kennels. One of them had the rough Collies and Shelties. The other one had Labradors and Goldens. Tell me a little bit about that period of your life.
Okay, I start to looking at the Goldens because I was like I was junior handler also, and I've met the person that was competing with me was like his father was a Golden Retriever breeder, very known in Portugal, and I felt completely in love for his Goldens. So, and I talked with him, and I start like experienced, you know. But then my father wasn't too happy about it because he wanted me to be at the school, and he said no more. So I just had to stop. And then when I was 18, I just said, now it's my time to go to work with the things that I really like to do. So I went with the Collie breeder, that's with the rough Collie and Shetland breeder. But I was totally crazy with the dogs from Pedro Oliveira, you know, the Franco's Valley kennel. And I thought, I stayed with the Collies, I think, for 1.5 years, and I said, I just have to go because I want to be on that kennel. So I went to work with a lot of dogs, taking care of all the dogs. And I learned a lot. I have to tell you, because I didn't show like a lot. I was more a kennel girl, but I learned a lot there. To work really hard. I start at 8. Sometimes I lost the buzz at 10 o'clock in the night. So it was like really hard work. That's where I think I learned to work really hard.
Yeah, you and me, we are more or less same age. I'm just a little bit younger than you. But I think that when we were growing and when we were like learning the first things, we were doing it much different than today, the new generations. There were more these big kennels, you know, and you know, there were no mobile phones and things, you know, to think about. How important was this first experience for you, you know, to go to one kennel and to work day and night with the different dogs to take care of them? How important that has proved to be for you for later on?
It was really important because, how can I say, I'm still not, but I wasn't very confident. I think that for me, everything was hard to do. And so I think I learned a lot on that kennel, and that gave me some confidence, like you just can do it, you know? Yeah. And so I think for the future, that was really nice because I start believing a bit more in me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you know, and so I knew that I could do it more and more and more. And then you just want more and more and more. So that was, I think, what it helped me a lot.
Yeah, and this kennel that had the Labradors and Goldens, when you moved there you started to show a little bit more dogs, not to be just a kennel girl.
Yes, I start show a little bit more, not too much, because Pedro and his son liked a lot to show, so I was like assistant. I only went to the rings when they would need it, or if there was a dog that would like me a bit more, so I could handle him. So it was like more assistant, maybe. Some dogs I did show, but not like many.
Yeah, yeah. But then let's say maybe your career as a handler and your life maybe in general has changed drastically in the moment when you started to work for these 2 extremely famous kennels. One was the Docete Moinhos from Jose, the Basset Hound. Another was Casa da Serra d'Água, Portuguese dogs. That has, in general, changed your life. Do you want to tell us the story how this cooperation started? And I mean, how old you were when you started to work for them?
About, I think, 19 years old, 20 maybe, more or less. And it started like because I went to the shows and I was a bit tired because I want to handle more also, because I thought that I had my time in Kennel Girl, and I thought maybe now you need more, And so I was just like, Jose came and talked with me, and Teresa from the Portuguese water dog kennel. They both talked with me like maybe if you are interested. And so I started talking, and then we just agreed that I stayed with both. I did both. Some days on the week I was with Jose, and the other days I was with Teresa with the Portuguese water dogs, and we travel a lot together. It was really nice. It was a really nice time for me. I learned a lot about personal life and professional life, a lot.
Yeah, and I mean that's the time when the first big success also came for you.
Yes, really. It was like with the Portuguese. Yes, I start showing them, and I won my first World Dog Show in Oporto with the breed, and I remember that was an American dog there, and the judge was I can tell the judge, can I? I think I can tell. And it was Carlos, so it was quite difficult because, the time the Americans were like, they just came for the World Dog Show, so it was quite a competence, and we won Best of Breed, and it was really, made me really proud. And then also with Jose's dogs, I start training them because I think at that time I need to, because Bassets are not very easy to train and to handle, and so I thought I'll start doing that. And then when I think that I can, I will handle. And also Joseph liked to handle the dog, so it was quite a team.
Yeah. We will for sure talk later on about that, because you will share also the photos of your life, which are going to show some of the most important dogs and people from your career, obviously. But you mentioned especially these three persons in your CV, José Homem de Melo, then Teresa Nobre Guedes, and Isabel Vieira Santos, if I told all the names correctly.
Yes,
you did. Why are these three persons so important for you and for your start on the big level in the dog world?
In the dog world, I think that with Teresa, she introduced me to the Portuguese water dogs, to the breed. She only bred a Portuguese water dog, and she was more than more than just about dogs. She was she teach me a lot also, and then she introduced me to Isabel with the Portuguese. And we became best friends, and I'm still handling our dogs. And with Jose, I've learned a lot, and everything I know about Bassets today, I have to thank him. He knows that. It's like he knows that all the Bassets that I like and everything, it comes for his lines, and so it was quite an important time for me to be there. Yes.
Yeah, this is one of these things that probably we will mention more times tonight, the importance of mentors, of people we met when we were young and who were mentoring us. As you said, not only about dogs and breeding and these things, but also many things about private life, I think.
Yes, true. Yeah. They were very important. As I told you, my childhood wasn't very easy, and so they helped me a lot. They helped me to be more confident. They helped me to know that I could do it. It was quite. They know, and I think they know that. Well, Teresa is not with us anymore, but she will know wherever she's. She will know that.
I'm sure that. Let's go a little bit from this, let's say, professional life to your private life. How did your husband? He was at that time breeder of Alaskan Malamute. Did you meet at the dog shows, or how did you meet?
No, we have met at the dog show. Okay. I will tell you a bit of the story, but then you will say you would say that everything is a lie. So, so we have met, and I heard. Sorry.
We will have a part 2 with Tiago to say his part of the story.
So I started. He was a Alaskan Malamute breeder, and then for some reason I started hearing things that were someone that was looking maybe like a bit at me, and so it was funny. And then we just start, on that time that I was with the Bassets and he was with Alaskan Malamute, and we compete with each other in besting shows, and sometimes he won, and we start just talking. And when he came to me once, and it was really funny because he said his father wanted a Basset Hound, and finally I discovered that he didn't. It was like an excuse to come and talk with me. So that was when we met, and so we start our relation in the dogs. And we start traveling, and I don't drive, so it was also nice.
You still don't drive?
Sorry?
You still don't drive, or just
I still don't drive. Okay. I have my car license, but I don't drive. There are people that go by plane that are afraid of planes. I'm afraid of driving. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm afraid of planes, so I can understand that. I want to ask you. You told me you and Tiago, obviously, when you started to live together, or I don't know, before or after you married, you were the first professional handlers in Portugal. Was that like a difficult decision, to make, to say, okay, we are going to live, to be the first ones to live from showing dogs for other people? How did you come to that idea?
We just, I started alone for one year, and then Tiago left his job to come and work with me because we start having a lot of work. And it was quite difficult because I have to tell you that people were joking about it because they didn't accept it. There was someone like handling dogs. And it was like, Mia, don't you know Mia? You remember? Of course, everyone knows Mia. And so they were joking about like Portuguese Mias, something like that, and we felt a bit like in the beginning, but then people start accepting it because they knew it made quite a difference. And it's not, in the beginning, it was okay because we were the only ones. So it was like, people start accepting, and we could live it from that. We really could live it from that.
When we are talking about a little bit about private life, you have two kids with Tiago. Both of them are very successful junior handlers. I think that in a way there is no person who has not seen photos of you winning with the Portuguese water dogs, but I also don't think there is not a dog person who didn't see the photos of Antonio winning the finals at Crafts some years ago under Yanis. That was very emotional, I'm sure, for everybody, but especially for him. I want to ask you from the personal side, are you happy that your children have stayed in the sport, that they like dogs, that they want to show dogs? Is that something that you are happy about, or you would have wished that they have taken another course of life?
I love the idea. But to tell you the truth, I think they should have something like that they could do as a future also. Because at the moment, it's not like really easy to live from this, and at least, I mean, in here, in Portugal. And I think, how can I say? I think they should have more than this. They love dogs, and Antonio, the dogs are in everything about him. Maria, I think she likes other things, but Antonio has everything. It's in his blood. Everything is about dogs, and it will be very difficult for us to convince them that he has to have something else also.
I think, of course, in that age, probably you were more or less the same. And when you start to get this fire, it's all about dogs. But as you said, it is very important also to have something else on the side, a kind of other education, a kind of other interests. Doesn't matter music, movies, whatever. It's always good not to have only dogs, because that can become quite stressful at some point of life. I think we have all our ups and downs with the dogs. So I agree with you. I think it's important, to have a little bit of balance. So let's hope for the best. I want to ask you, you have done a lot of first things with the Portuguese water dogs. You were the first person to win the group at the European Dog Show with the Portuguese water dog. You were the first person to win the group at the World Dog Show with the Portuguese water dog. You are a part of the history of the breed. How do you feel about that now when you look at these two big wins? What kind of feeling it was?
On that time, you mean on that time?
Yeah. How did you feel then, and how do you feel now about it?
On that time, I will tell you, I would never imagine that could ever happen. To be very honest, I thought that it would be very far for a Portuguese to win an European. And I have to tell you, on that European, Tiago also won the group with a Spanish Greyhound, and he told me like this: tomorrow it will be you with the Portuguese. And I laughed at him and I said, "Are you crazy?" And because it's like, it wasn't very, very, of course, it was like, it was far from me to believe that he would have win. So, and it makes me really, really proud. And when people say, like you said to me, that I'm making part of history, you cannot imagine my feeling. I can really, it's like, and it's a Portuguese breed. It's not very easy, So more than it's like Portuguese breed. And I'm from Portugal, and the dogs are bred in Portugal, so everything was Portuguese, is Portuguese. So it makes me really feel very proud about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it makes it more special when you think, that you have managed to do something so big, as you say, for your own native breed. And there are many people in the world, and everybody likes to say something. I have done this and I have done that, but I don't think that there are many people who can say like you. I won the first group at the European show, and I mean, this is really, really a big, big thing. I mean, it by yourself. There can be a breed which is absolutely unknown. You do one important big win, and it brings more people, brings popularity, brings something good for the breed. So
yes.
I'm sure that, of course, you should be proud. But then maybe another thing that you should be proud, and I think this is also important to say, is the way that people, from a dog world, inspire other people. So while we are talking, there is a message from Raquel. She's writing, "Lovely Marta, she's the best. I remember when I started show dogs, I saw Marta and I said I want to be professional handler. Thanks, Marta, to be a part of that. And congrats to all in your life. You are absolutely amazing inside of ring and with the dogs." So this is, I think, also something to be proud of, that you can inspire young people, young generations, to continue with this crazy world of ours, which is crazy in every possible way. I want to ask you now a little bit about Portuguese water dogs. You have never been breeding them, but you are like a #1 person in a breed for many people around, because of the way that you have bring so much popularity for the breed. I want to ask you, the breed has become quite popular at the moment. I see on the big shows, world shows, European shows, you can have like 70, 80, 90 Portuguese water dogs. What do you think at the moment when you see these big competitions? What is the biggest problem of the breed at the moment? What is something that you think maybe is going in a wrong direction about the breed itself?
The big problem, for example, I think it's the proportions. Okay. They should be. I see a lot of how do I say, not so square, a bit longer. Okay. And then you get the impression that they are a bit shorter in upper arm. Okay. So that's what I think. They should have a bit more upper arm, and not so long. That's what when I'm looking, imagine in Scandinavian, there are a lot of Portuguese water dogs, and I had the experience to see an open class, I remember, and I could see a lot. And I thought that was one of the problems that I could see, that I think people should start thinking a bit more that to make like a bit shorter. You know, you see a lot of long ones, and I can see a lot of photos on Facebook, and it makes me feel a bit like they should be like short. That's one for me, my thing. Like
the thing is that with a little bit longer dogs, you get maybe a bit more of reach and drive. So maybe sometimes they look like they move a little bit better because they are a bit longer. But in general, if it's a square breed, it should be a square breed. I mean, that's quite an important. I mean, proportions are always the first thing in the standard, you know.
And that will show. Oh, sorry. And that will show also the correct movement on the. If you get a longer dog, you don't have the correct movement, of course. I mean, the standard movement. It should be not too long in movement, you know.
So tell us a little bit more when you say about typical movement. How should be the typical movement of the Portuguese water dog? What is important?
They should do the 90 degrees in movement. I mean, they don't have to go too longer. I can see some Portuguese moving a bit like German Shepherds, and they shouldn't be like that. Okay. They don't have to have the head like going to the front. Okay. The head should be a little bit up. Okay. If I think if you understand, you know, I see a lot of like this. You know, you see the Portuguese like this, and they should like look square in the movement and almost square in the movement, and the head shouldn't go to the front because like a bit up. Yeah. You know, that the way they should go, and not like fast, like running like really fast. They should be they go, of course, they move, but then they should have that traditional movement, like not like running. You know what I mean? Elegant movement still.
It should be more moderate, let's say.
Yes.
More moderate. It should keep with the head up, and with the tail, it should keep this kind of square.
Almost square. The standard, yes, almost square, and not like the. I mean, sometimes that's what I'm telling you. Sometimes I saw a lot of also looking a bit like German Shepherds, and that's not good.
Yeah. I want to ask you. Something about the coats. I know there are two coat varieties. I think there is also quite a lot of discussions always about this and that and so on and so on. Tell us a little bit more about these two coat varieties, how they are, maybe the difference, how you prepare them for the show. What is your opinion on it? What is maybe more correct, or what is your? I know that mostly you have these ones with the long,
wavy ones. Yes. I have more the wavy ones.
Yeah.
And you have the curly, and you only have the curly and the wavy ones. Yeah. Then you see a lot of thinner ones that they cannot have thinner coats at all.
Okay.
They should be wavy, but with a lot of texture. If you know what I mean. I'm sorry, sometimes my English it's not like. So it's a lot of texture and but not thinner ones. You see a lot thinner ones, and that's not good.
Yeah.
Because then if you see him in the water, the coat works like if you get thinner ones, you know, like for the water it's not good.
Yeah.
You understand me? Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, whenever we talk about breeds, we always talk, you know, fit for function. We talk about what the breed has been made for. So obviously, in the breeds like water dogs, if the quality of the coat is not correct, they will not be able to do their work.
Yes, but then you have a lot of discussion because of the size of the coat. But you know, I tried already, and I have the Portuguese at home with the short hair, and I take them to the river as like Cash. He goes to the river also, so it's not. I don't think that's really. Of course, they will work better if they will have a bit shorter, of course. But then it's not like they don't fit to function if they have a long hair. You know, it's not like. Because it's I think if you have a show dog, you should do for show. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If I take the coat to a show dog, it's not the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me.
And about the curlies, I'm not very, how do I say, specialist on curlies, because normally I don't have curlies, so
Okay.
I cannot explain a lot about the curlies. But
Okay.
they should be really curlies, not like you can see the curlies on the coat. Okay. Not like a carry, of course, but of course nothing to do with that. But you should be the curlies, not like straight.
Yeah. And when we talk about the variety that you are mostly showing, these long wavy coats, how I mean, what do you need to do to prepare a dog for a show? How often you bath them? Which parts you do? Maybe with the scissors? Do you do any trimming? What you are shaving? How difficult is to keep a Portuguese water dog in a really good show condition? I'm talking about coat.
Yes. It's really like, it's not as long as I'm bathing them every week.
Okay.
Normally, and I brush them, but I don't like to brush them without the bath. Okay. Because I think it damages a bit the coat. That's my opinion. I do it when I bath them every week, and I scissor them a bit just to give them a little bit. I mean, don't make him too much rusty, a bit more show, but okay, not too much, because it's not really allowed on the breed. You shouldn't. It says on the stand that they shouldn't be scissored or sculptured.
Okay.
It says. So I just do a little bit, not too much, just to make them beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that everybody does that. Okay. Let's talk now a little bit about Basset Hounds. That's the breed that you are breeding. How did your story of your Basset Hounds start? So, I mean, your idea to breed the Basset Hounds. How did that start?
Well, after I worked with Jose, and I work many years with Jose. I stayed there with the Bassets, living at his house, and later on, when I came to live with Tiago, with my husband. I married, and we kept working with Jose, and I just fell in love with the breed, because they can go with every dog, with every person. They just happy dogs, and they. And you know, I think I learned so much about the breed that I said maybe I can breed it, maybe. Yeah. And I knew the lines, and so I thought that I could do a nice job. I don't feel like how do I say, like I'm a breeder already. I'm just trying, you know. Okay. When I say I'm a breeder, because I don't have too much time for breeding. I made some litters. I think I had some nice puppies, but I don't feel like a breeder yet. And maybe Antonio will continue, and I don't have the age anymore to go breeding.
Okay. And tell me, do you have any other breeds of your own at home, or you have just Basset Hounds that are really yours?
Really mine. I still have a Golden, because in the past I had Goldens. Okay. That's why the name of my affix, Goldenessence. Okay. And I had Goldens, and I still have a Golden of ours, and my daughter has Chihuahuas. Okay. And sorry?
So that's a nice combination. Goldens, yeah. Basset Hounds, and Chihuahuas.
Yes, I know, but we just try. But it's only one Golden, and we just have Chihuahua. And we have the Portuguese, some of Portuguese white living with us also.
Okay. I want to ask you, when we are talking about Basset Hounds, I think that's not so easy breed maybe to judge and to understand. There are a lot of breed characteristics which are special for them. What is for you, when you think about the Basset Hound, for example, some of the most important features of the breed, something that you think that a good Basset Hound needs to have? How would you describe a perfect Basset Hound in your eyes?
I would Love. I really like them with the angulations, especially in front. I think it's a big problem in the breed at the moment. They are losing a bit the shoulder. I think they are getting too straight, and I like them not too much with moderate angulation because it shouldn't be too much anyway. And I don't like them if they have to go. I mean, on the to hand or something. I like them not too much near the ground, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
And but still a Basset Hound, not like those that they like with not too much skin. And I think they should still have some skin. And those eyes, you can have healthy eyes without being like, how can I say, without any skin. You know, they should look like Basset Hounds still. That's what I like.
Okay.
And and also movers, nice movers.
Yeah.
As they are losing a bit the angulations in front. Sometimes I see a lot Bassets not moving like they sound movement. They look a bit like, you know, like a bit like chickens. Sorry for the word, you know, and it's like it's not good for the breed.
Yeah. I mean, what I have done in the last 2.5 years, I don't know, around 150, 200 interviews here. And whenever I ask for any breed, you know, what do you think at the moment is the biggest problem of the breed? Most of the answers are always front angulation and everything. That has gone wrong in many breeds. So I can understand that's a big problem also in the Basset Hounds. Is there something else that is bothering you about the Basset Hounds of the moment? Some other big faults that you think breeders should take care of?
Rib cage, totally rib cage.
Okay.
They are not. I don't see many breeders. I think rib cage is very important, and I think breeders should give a bit more also attention to it. Okay. And Antonio will love that I will say this because he's totally crazy with rib cages.
Okay, so in a way, what you want to get more long the rib cage? You think the rib cage, more or less like in the Dachshunds, are getting more and more short? Dogs short in rib cage and long in loins. Is that the same problem which is happening in Basset Hounds?
Yes, and they should be like more round, and they are getting like too straight. You know what I mean? They should be like until the end. Even me, if I have a litter and I'm always looking for the nice ribs, it's not very easy to get it at the moment. It's not very easy.
Okay. I want to ask you, Marta, when you look at the Basset Hounds around the world, and you look, for example, the dogs that are winning in Europe, are they very different to the dogs which are maybe winning in the UK and the dogs which are winning, for example, in the USA? Is there a lot of difference in type, or they look the same everywhere in the world?
Well, I don't think there's a big difference with ones that are winning in Europe and UK, but I think it's between the states in Europe. I think there are still some difference. I think there are still some difference. I see them a bit more light, maybe a bit more light in the States. But that's what I think the standard wants a bit more now, not so with so much skin, more light, and so that's what I think in the States they have more. No, I think the difference is more between Europe and the States.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Tell me, when you think about the dogs that you were showing for Jose, let's say 20 years ago, and the dogs that were competing at that time, the dogs that were winning at that time, and you compare them with the dogs that are winning today at the big shows in Basset Hounds, do you think that in the last maybe 10, 20, 30 years, the breed has changed a lot, or you don't think it has changed a lot?
No, I really don't think that it changed a lot. I really don't think. It will depend. I mean, for some judges, I mean, the idea of some judges wanted to change it to change it. Not my idea. I see I can see a lot of the oldest dogs now also, but for some judges, maybe they want a different Basset now. But
Okay.
I don't see it yet, that different Basset a lot.
Okay. I want to ask you, I mean, Bassets were one of these breeds which has been getting a lot of attention, as you said, because of the loose skin, because of the eyes and all these things. In general, when you think about the breed, is that a healthy breed? Do you see some kind of big health troubles in the breed? Do you do a lot of health checks, genetic tests, or you think it's a healthy breed?
I don't see them as with many diseases. Really, I don't see. You have to, of course, you have to see almost the skin and the eyes, but it's not. I don't. I test them, but it's not like, I don't think that they are really not so healthy.
Yeah. So you don't. There is not something specifically which is a big problem in the breed at the moment.
I don't see it. You know, I think people sometimes I think people exaggerate a little bit with all the things that you can have. Can have sometimes the eyes not so good, but it's not like because the eyes of the Basset always were like this or were like that, you know. And the skin, if you have a lot of skin, you might have problems if you don't treat it, of course. But I don't think that's like big problems. I don't think.
Marta, when you read the FCI standard of the Basset Hounds, do you think it's good? Do you think that some things should change? Do you think that something should be better explained, or you think that it's a good standard for the breed, for the judges to understand it?
No, I think it's a good standard, but people now are talking a bit about the new standard, what they want and because they want now Basset more fit for function, and what I was telling about not so much skin, and I just hope they keep the Basset Hound like Bassets, and they don't lose that idea of a Basset Hound. That's what I think, because they can still fit for function, but not looking, I'm sorry, like artisans. You know?
Yeah, because in general, artisan is more or less the very light version of the Basset Hound without skin and without these things. So there should be a difference between one and another.
Yes, that's what I think. The Basset should look also like a Basset. He can still move, he can still, but not like an artisan. That's what my opinion. Okay.
Tell me, because it's a let's say a breed which is short on legs, but it's still very heavy. It's long. How difficult is to keep a Basset Hound, you know, in a good condition for the shows? How much care he needs about movement, about skin? Is it an easy breed to keep in the show condition or not?
No, special when they are puppies, because you cannot breed a Basset like some breeds, because you cannot have a Basset. It's very it's not good at all to have a Basset. Imagine in a sofa, because if you get a Basset, they should have you have to be very careful with their hands, with their fronts, behind, because it can damage a lot. It can open the hands. And people sometimes, when I explain them, don't have the Bassets on the sofa, or if they jump from the sofa, that's really too soft for them. And when they are puppies, I think they might be the worst breed. I mean, worst breed to difficult one to breed, since they are puppies. Okay. Because I try, when I send a puppy to someone, I will tell them that, and then they will look at him in the bed, look at him in the sofa, and I go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because you can still give them, spoil them, but not, they don't need like the sofa to be spoiled. That's what I mean. You know, at least as puppies, I think that's very important. And they should have harsh floors, you know, not so soft, and not too much exercise. I think the Basset, the difficult part is when they are puppies.
Okay. So what are more or less the instructions that you give to somebody who buys a puppy from you? What do you say to them? What they should do and what they should not do when the Basset Hound is a puppy?
And well, they have to be careful with the food. It's very important. When they are puppies, it's better to have them a bit thinner, not like thinner, but a bit thinner than fat.
Okay.
Then again, sorry, because I answered before. It's like the sofas, beds. They don't have to be in the bed or sofa too.
Okay.
I mean, because it's very important. I think it's more about that part. You know, it's not too much exercise at all, because they can, when they are puppies, they can really get damaged with too much exercise.
Okay. Tell me, Marta. For the end of these conversations now about the Portuguese water dogs and Basset Hounds, we will talk more about other things. But when you think about Portuguese water dogs and Basset Hounds that have in a way been two most important breeds of your life, what are the differences? What kind of differences you see in a temperament, in behavior? How different they are as breeds?
Basset Hounds can go all together. I don't have many problems with Bassets. They can socialize any breed. They are very nice because with the other breeds, you can mix them. It's not a problem. The Portuguese can be a bit dominant, especially the males. It's not so easy to have them together. That's the only. But then they are both happy dogs, energetic dogs. They can go everywhere. It's not a problem. And of course, Bassets normally don't go. I don't see them swimming in the river. It's a bit difficult. There might be one or two, but not. And Portuguese love to go to the river. So I see I'm in the river because I live in a small village where we have the river and not sea. So they have to go to the river.
Okay, let's do now, Marta, some quick questions. These are the questions which are usually very interesting for the viewers and very difficult for the guests. Let's see how you are going to deal with them. Tell me for the start, what is your favorite dog show in Portugal?
In Portugal?
Yes.
At the moment, I think a Porto dog show.
Porto. Okay.
Yes.
And what would be your favorite show outside of Portugal?
Outside, I think Helsinki.
Helsinki. Okay. Tell me, when you think about the Basset Hounds from the past, maybe the Basset Hounds that you didn't show, the ones that maybe you have seen in live or maybe you have seen it just on the photos, what would be for you a perfect or the best Basset Hound of all times, not bred or owned by you? One dog that always in your head represents the perfect Basset Hound.
But not a dog that I work with.
Yes. Not a dog that you worked with.
There's a dog from Holland. It calls Model.
Okay.
From Holland, I think is one of the Bassets that is great. Is just great, moving everything about him. I have his grandchild in here, so I really like that dog.
Okay, wonderful. Tell me, I know you are not breeding a lot, but till now, what would be the best dog that you ever bred?
Till now, it's Goldenessence Blade Runner. It's the father of my litter.
Okay. When you let's try to separate now the dogs that you are showing for the clients and the dogs that are your dogs. When you think about the wins with your own dogs, which one is something that you won that you will never forget?
With my dogs?
Yes, not client dogs.
With my dogs, it might be I had a Portuguese water dog some years ago, and I won. He was a baby when he came, and we won everything in babies. He won all the best in shows that he had since he arrived to Portugal. Till puppy class, he won all best in shows, and he was a really good baby show dog, Portuguese water dog. That's what I remember.
Yeah. And tell me about all the big wins that you have done with the client dogs. Which one is one win that you will never forget? Something that always, you know, comes to your heart as maybe the most special win of your life.
For my life,
Yes.
I think I have to tell the group in Austria.
Which year? Remember?
Sorry?
Do you remember which year it was?
Yes, 2005, I think. 2005.
Okay.
Yes.
That was World Dog Show or the
No,
European?
European Dog Show in Austria.
Okay, so that was your first big win. Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. Tell me, is there one breed that you never had at home and that you think maybe one day you would like to have and you would like to breed?
Oof. Many.
Okay. But which one is the first one that comes to your mind?
That I would like to breed or to have?
Yeah, to have and to breed.
My God, don't ask me that because I don't. It doesn't come to my head. There are so many.
Okay, there is not a special breed that you are saying to Tiago, I want to have one, I want to have one, I want to have one. No.
No, no, there's nothing. Nothing. We have many breeds. It could have many breeds. So there's not like one that.
Okay. Tell me, of course, you have been showing the dogs for 20 plus years. Is there one dog that you have seen in live? I don't need the name of any breed that always sticks in your head, you know, like one of the most beautiful dogs you have ever seen in your life. Any breed. You can just say which breed it was and which show it was when you saw the dog or whatever.
But sorry, that I work with or a handler or
no, just one dog from somebody else that you say that you saw and that it sticks in your head. You know, this was a wonderful, one of the best dogs I have ever seen in my life.
I have one. Yes.
Okay, tell us.
You want the breed?
Yes.
A flat-coated retriever.
Okay, something from the new past or from the long past?
New past.
Okay, wonderful. Tell me, is there a dog person who is not alive anymore and you terribly miss? Somebody who very special in your life and unfortunately is not alive anymore.
Yes, but you mean that I was with or
no, who has been your mentor or your friend?
Yes, it's Teresa for sure.
Teresa, okay.
Yes.
Now another difficult question. When you think about all the amazing breeders in the world, tell me one breeder in Portugal and one breeder outside of Portugal of any breed, doesn't matter which breed, who always impress you with his or her dogs.
A breeder in Portugal.
Yes, one in Portugal and one outside of Portugal. Any breed.
I have to, but I can tell the ones with who I worked, right?
Yes, you can say yes.
Well, I have to say Pedra da Anisha in Portuguese water dogs, and outside, outside, my God.
It can be any breed. Any breed. Yeah.
Maybe Bassets. Again, Rudy Smiths from Netherlands.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Wonderful. Tell me, when you think about the judges, let's say who are 3 judges whose opinion about your dogs is always important for you? When you say, oh, I love to show under this judge because I think he's a great judge, tell me 3 names.
3 names?
Yes.
In Bassets?
No, judges. Doesn't matter. Breed specialists, all-rounders, doesn't matter.
For sure. Franco, for sure.
Okay.
I like also Tamasiakal.
Okay. And one more.
One more. My God. And she will know Anika.
Okay.
Anika.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell me like this. I give you the opportunity to say thank you to 5 persons who have been extremely important for your life. People who have helped you to become what you are today in the world of dogs, mentors, friends. Which 5 persons? They can be still alive or not alive anymore. Who would you say are top 5 persons or top 5 mentors in your life who have helped you to become what you are today?
For sure, I can tell my husband, for example. Yes.
Of course. It's good if you say your husband, I think.
But you know that he's very important in my life. He knows that. Jose, for sure.
Okay.
Isabel.
Okay.
Teresa.
Okay.
And Pedro Oliveira. Those are the 5 ones of my life for sure. They know that.
Wonderful. Tell me, when you think about your Basset Hounds and about your next generations that you want to breed, is there one thing that you would like to improve in your dogs? Something that you say to yourself, Marta, in the next litter, this must be better. Is there something you would like to improve in your dogs?
Yep, rib cage.
Rib cage. We come to the rib cage. Okay. Did you ever, Marta, feel that you want to stop with the dogs, that you want to stop breeding, that you want to stop showing dogs? And if yes, why?
I felt already that it might be the time for me to stop, because we felt when you don't win, you just felt that you lose all your friends.
Okay.
And then you get to conclusion that they weren't your friends. So it's not so bad also. Yeah. So I felt already that maybe it was the time for me to retire. But then my kids didn't let, and you just have to go. And we just have to choose. They are really, really my family. They are really our supporters. They don't let us go down. Never, never, never. And I felt, because then you just, if you don't win, you're not famous. You don't have friends. And it's like strange when you are on the top and then you go like down. You just have to keep on hardworking, everything. But yes, I felt it before. Yeah. True.
Okay. Tell me, if you would need to describe Basset Hounds in 3 words, which 3 words you would use?
Happy.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay.
And really stubborn. Really.
Okay. I was very stubborn. I was sure it will come. Okay. Okay. And then the last of the quick questions. Tell me, what is that you like the most about your husband, and what is one thing that you would like to change about your husband?
To change?
Yes.
My God, he's looking at this.
I know. So be smart, what you will say.
The thing that I most like on him is for him to, it's like strange, for him to let me shine. Okay. That's what I love on him.
Okay, wonderful.
He's always on my back, but he wants me to be the one to shine. And the thing that oh my God, don't like on him.
Well, not that you don't like, maybe something that you would like to change in a little bit. I don't know. People give different kind of answer. They say, I don't know, my husband is always late. I would like to change that.
Sometimes it's a bit like too much,
Okay.
Not so much. Yes, grumpy. I forgot the word. Yes, true. Grumpy, a bit. Okay. Yes, even for the kids, a bit sometimes. It should be a little bit less sometimes.
Okay. That's a good answer. Okay, Marta, let's talk now a little bit about breeding. When you are thinking about the next generations at your home, when you are thinking about the litters that you want to have, how do you choose the parents? Is it how they look like? How important is the pedigree for you? Do you prefer line breeding? Do you do a lot of outcrossing? What is your general strategy of breeding?
I like, I study the pedigrees, of course, but also I go a bit for the more than the parents, I go for the grandparents. And I look for those to see in what I can have better, but sorry? Yes, improve. Yeah. Yes, I go for the, but also I go a lot for the grandparents and lines behind, but looking also at the dogs.
Okay, so is it more important how the dogs look like, or is more important the pedigree?
Oh my God.
Or 50-50?
I think 50-50, but okay. But honestly, I need to see the dogs that are behind. I really need.
Okay. Marta, do you want to be a judge one day?
I would like to, but it's not very easy to be a judge in Portugal, and it will take me a lot of time. And I think when I'll be a judge, maybe I'm about 19 years old, so I don't know. I would love to. I was a judge once. Okay. I judged already once, and I loved the experience, and I would love, but Antonio is trying to convince me, but then I have to retire also, so yeah. It's like a thought, but not sure yet.
Yeah, it is not an easy decision. I can tell you from my experience. I have made the plan in my head some years ago. I said I want to do the handling till I'm 40, and when I become 40, I want to start, to judge. And it was not an easy decision, and it's a big change in the life. But I have managed in a way to make a compromise. I started before the time when I will become a judge. I started to breed a little bit more, so I have dogs of my own which I can go and show, and because I could never live without showing. So I can still go to the shows and show, and I must say that the process of learning new breeds and steward judging, and then you pass the exam and then you judge a breed for the first time, it's really interesting. So I hope that one day you will also decide to become a judge, because I think we need people like you. We need people who have had such a great experience with different breeds in the world of judges. But when we are talking about judges, of course, when you are at home with Tiago and the kids, like everybody else, you sometimes say, okay, I will enter here, he's a good judge, or I will not enter, he is not a good judge. What is for you a good judge, and what is for you a bad judge?
A good judge for me is when you judge the breed, he goes for the same type. You get a male and a female of the same type, and then you go. I mean, if you go for the catalog and you see same parents or same mother or father, that's, for me, it has to be like, you cannot have a dog of this type and the second one of that type. For me, that's not a good judge. Male and female should have the same type. That's my opinion about the good judge.
And about the bad judge, what is that you really hate about judges? Something that you really don't like?
Oh my God. About the bad,
yeah, when you say somebody is a bad judge, why would you say somebody is a bad judge? We all know that there are good judges and bad judges. That's not a secret.
Because you can see the ones that they don't even look at the standard. Okay. And they just go for that thing that it's not written on the standard, or it says a different thing on the standards. So that's, for me, that's a bad judge. That not going for the standard of each breed that is judging. Sometimes I hear things that I start looking but I'm too polite to say it. Sometimes okay. I would love to be a bit more, to say it, but then I'm too polite to say it, that it's not okay. Correct.
Yeah. There are people who go to say the things which are really out out of discussion. We all know that.
And that you know, that happened a lot with me, Portuguese water dogs. And you go like, should I say it? Should I not say it? Because then you get judged that say thank you for letting me know. Then you go to judge that say I'm the judge here. So it's not like,
yeah.
Sometimes I prefer just to be quiet. And if they, for some reason, at the end, if they ask me or something, I will tell. But normally I won't tell by myself, like just saying it. One
of the reasons why I decided to stop showing dogs professionally was because I could not keep quiet anymore. You know, when I hear something like this, I would like, you know, I would say, even if I die, you know, I would think in my head, I need to say, even if it's going to be the last show of my life, but I cannot keep quiet. So I'm very happy that you still can be quiet. I want to ask you, Marta, there is a lot of talking about junior handling. You have been, I suppose, junior handlers yourself when you were young.
Yes.
Both of your kids are junior handlers now. How much do you think that the competition has changed in the last years? And when you think about the junior handling today, what do you think is good about it, and what you think should be changed about it?
About it, I think those, but I was quite happy to know that you don't have to do the 8s anymore, the L's anymore. And I was, when Antonio told me that was finished, I was quite happy, because I thought, my God, at least that, because it's not a normal thing to be asked, I think, because when you go to handle a dog later on, you just don't do those kind of things. But that's I think one good thing. I don't know, and how should I say? Sometimes I think the junior handlers, one thing that I can notice, that they really don't they lose too much time in the bathroom. If you know what I mean. Okay. I'm sorry to all of junior handlers. I was a junior handler and I didn't have to do that. Really. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I have to say this.
We are here to change.
Because sometimes you see the junior handlers, they just arrange themselves, and then you don't see them to put the dog on the table, and that gets me totally mad.
Yeah.
You know, I normally my kids start like grooming the dogs at home. You know, walking the dogs. That's what I think they should do. Speaking with the dogs, and not just taking care of themselves. I'm not saying that it's a general problem, but I see that a lot. I see that a lot.
We have been talking a lot about that with different guests. My experience is that for you is different, because you have dogs at home, as you said. So your kids, they take care of the dogs, they groom the dogs, they bath the dogs, they train the dogs. But you have a lot of junior handlers who just come to the show and go to the famous people and say, can you give me one nice big flashy dog, you know, to win in junior handling, without actually any work. This is something which I don't like. I think if you want to be a junior handler, that should be work. You know, you should work with the dog. You should train the dog. You should know the dog. You know, this is, I think, more or less the same thing that you say. Another thing that I see as a problem, and I don't know if you see it as a problem, but it's interesting because you are a parent. I think many times parents are a problem. I think parents start to have this kind of obsession with the children. You need to win, you need this, you need to that. Did you feel that has become like quite a serious problem at the moment?
We don't get too much that in Portugal, it's true.
Okay.
And I saw in some shows maybe out abroad, but we don't see that many competition in Portugal. You know.
How do you support your children in a way of junior handling? I mean, what you say to them, how they should do the things?
I think they should have fun, and that's for me also, for all handling about dogs. First, I think, and they should have fun. But then the thing is that I think life is a competition.
Yes.
And when someone says to me that all the junior handlers should win, there's no, and I don't think that's good.
Yeah.
Because then they think it's easy to win. And
Yeah.
I think I go really, for me, it's like, if it's a competition, you should work for it, and you should, I'm not that kind of, all the junior handlers have to win, all the kids have to win, and that's not good for them, because our life, it's a competition.
Yeah.
You have to be better and better and better. That's my way of seeing the things. Yeah. And that's the way. You don't have always to win. For me, if they don't win, it's okay. I don't really, and I'm the first one, if they say, what, I did this, and I said, look, everyone can win, it's not a problem, but I tried to tell them why they didn't win or anything, you know. And what Antonio wants, you want to stop for a year? And he told me, I want to stop for a year. And I was the one that told you, you do whatever. If you feel that you want to stop, you have to stop. And yeah. So I support them the way they do it, everything, I mean, by themselves. I don't decide for them. The only thing that I don't like is when you say that, oh, they are kids, they have to win. Oh, you know, that's not my point of view.
Yeah. I think if we are talking about sport in general, it should be like in every other sport. You know, if you want to be a successful, I don't know, football player or basketball player or athlete or whatever, you need to work hard to come there. You cannot just come to the field and say, well, hi, I want to play football and go in. So I think this is the lesson that they should learn. Like, everybody who works hard at the end will be, you know, the winner. Doesn't need to be a winner on the talk show, but in life will be a winner. But
in life it's the same, yeah.
Yeah, nothing that just comes from the moon. You know, this is just a short period glory, I think. So I like how you think. I want to ask you, for you, because we talk today about professional handlers, and you will see and you will notice that in the last, let's say, maybe 5, 6, 7 years, everybody on Facebook is a professional handler. When you think about these two words, professional handler, what it means for you?
A professional handler for me is someone that is, how do I say, that as a profession. You know what I mean? It's like, of course, it can have money from that, okay, but then you don't have, how do I say, you don't, for me, a professional handler is the one that has the dog at home, is the one that takes care of the dog, is the one that cleans the kennel of the dog, is not the one that goes to the show, the owner is brushing the dog, the owner is doing everything, and he gets the leash and goes in. That's not a professional handler for me at all. Okay. And you see a lot. I see a lot that in here in Portugal, and it makes me feel...
I am very happy that we agree about that.
It's really like, it makes me feel really bad, because then you see the way we work, you know, and the way that they don't work, and you get really... And sometimes you have people talking bad things about professional handlers because they got not a professional handler.
When you say people talk a lot, we can easily say that there is a lot of controversy about professional handlers, and I think mostly because in Europe there are many who call themselves professional handlers, but I think if we think about it, really there are few persons who are really professional handlers. But talking about, you know, all these things and what people speak and this and that, do you think that professional handlers are good for the dog world or they are bad for the dog world, and why?
Professional handlers?
Yeah, because people will say we cannot win anything, it's only professional handlers who are winning, normal people can never win, blah 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 blah. But that's not really like it, in my opinion.
I think the real ones, the real professional handlers are the good ones for this dog world. And then you get to the ones that they are not professional handlers that are not good for this world.
Yeah.
The thing is that when someone new comes to the dog world, the first ones for them to meet is the ones that are not professional handlers, and that gives a bad image of, that's a big problem, I think.
Yeah, I agree about that. Okay, Marta, we have been talking now for 1 hour and a half. Now is the time to share the photos of your life. This is something that is always very interesting for the viewers, also interesting for my guests, because there are a lot of memories, a lot of people, a lot of dogs that bring back nice things. And I think for all the people, it's always nice to see these photos of life. So Beltran will put now the photos on the screen, and you will tell us why did you choose these photos and what is on them and what they represent for you. So the first photo that Beltran will put is a collage of 4 photos. There are many people on these 4 photos. Tell us why this is an important photo of your life.
So the first one with the Goldens was the golden breed that took me to the dog world. I mean, to the handling and everything. And that's one Franco's Valley kennel, that one of the person that I mentioned before that was important in my life. And then I have Teresa that introduced me to the Portuguese water dog, and she was also my godmother. Wedding godmother. And then,
I don't know. I know for a man it's the best man. How do you say for a woman? But she was on your wedding.
Yes. Oh, yes. And that's the date of my wedding. That was the last time that I saw her. So that's my photo. And then the other one, it's with Isabel. Teresa was the one that introduced me to Isabel, and her late husband, that it was one of our best friends that sadly died last year. And when we were together, we were like that, always like that. We had lots of fun in the shows. And then it's with Jose, a very important person. He knows that also.
Okay. Next photo is more about important dogs. This was about important people. Tell us what this photo represents for you.
It was my first World Dog Show in 2001 in Portugal. And it was that female that was best of breed, and she got, I think, third in the group. And it was really my first winning with the Portuguese water dog.
Okay, so one of the most important winnings of your life, of your career at the start. Is that the story where Carla was judging?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was funny because, sorry. Yes.
Tell me.
No, it was funny because then Carla asked me about the female, and she said, you were lucky because the handler was not the same. So you were lucky because you handled more better than the other one. So I felt like I was just like almost a beginner in the handling. So it was like, oh my God. So it was winning.
These are the things that you never forget. Next photo is a collage of 4 photos with the Basset Hounds.
Yes.
Tell what is on these photos.
Those are the Basset Hounds from Shetland Wings that made me famous. The first one is with the Basset. It was my first big winning in France, a club show with 325 Bassets, an all-day judging, and she was number 1. She was best in show, so it was really amazing. Then the other one, you have Come and Get Me the Shetland Wings, very known breeder, and I got best in show in Gibraltar with the late Marion Spavin, a very good on this breed also, so it was quite. And then you have the World Dog Show in Paris, I think 2011, I think, yes, with the Red Robin, Shetland Wings also. We won best of breed, also me showing. and he couldn't be shown out in the honoring because Jose was judging the group, so it was
okay.
and then it was my dog. I think I have also the Nothing Compares to Set Wings. It was the dog that we owned. He was bred by Jose, but we owned, and we traveled around the world with him. He became very known. We went to Mexico, Argentina, a lot of countries with him. He won a lot, that dog.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, next photo is also Basset Hounds. Tell us what is it.
She was Basset Joy Crazy Night. She was bred in Italy, owned in Spain, and she was best of breed and best of group at European show in Austria, and that was really a super winning. I wasn't expecting it at all. It was my first time. I was showing her, I think, for the first time, or I had her here, and it was like a big winning for me.
Okay, wonderful. From the Basset Hounds, we are going to the Portuguese water dogs. There is a collage of 3 photos.
Yes.
Tell us, one I can see, it's a very young Jakel Tamas.
Yes.
And then I think another one is also very young Annika Utveit Mu. And I can't see the people on the 3rd photo, but tell us what they represent.
Yes, you know very well the people on the 3rd floor, at least one. It was the first one. It was the first Portuguese water dog. It was Smooth La Pedra da Anisha winning the group in Austria, that story that I was telling you about. And the second one is always the same dog. It's Smooth. It became very known. And the year after in Finland, he won again the group. So I don't think a Portuguese ever did this. The 2 groups in the European consecutive years. He won 2005 and 2006, I think, in Finland, and it was best of group. And then we went to the national in the States with him. It was Ed Bevan judging. It's Ed Bevan there.
Yeah.
And we went second in, I don't know, I think it was open class, maybe, I don't remember. And I think it was one of the most amazing with the Portuguese water dogs. Everyone stand up because they called them the legend of that dog. And it was really nice, because I never went, it was in Maryland. It was a big show. It was like a record. I've seen about 600 Portuguese water dogs in 1 week. It was just amazing, that winning, just amazing.
Okay.
Super experience.
Okay, next thing is you and Carla and the Portuguese flag. Tell us about that.
That dog, it was way too glow the Pedra da Anisha. It was also the first one to win the group in Paris, 2011. Yes, 2011. And then we went with him to El Canuba Challenge. It was best dog of the year of that year. And then we went to El Canuba Challenge with him in 2012 in Orlando.
Okay.
And it made me really, that photo, it made me really proud. The flag, again, Portuguese dog, Portuguese antler. Then you had Carla behind. It was really a moment that I will never forget. Gives me really goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, I always say that this World Challenge was one of the most amazing things that has ever happened in the world of dogs. And I really hope that any company in the future once will want to do something like that again, because that was just amazing in every possible way. Okay, we are going now again to Helsinki. The year is 2012. What happened there?
Well, it was so funny because for people that I think people that don't know, we just after Besting Show we just go outside, and it was really funny because it was me and they called from the 4th to the 2nd, and it was me and Javier, and it was really funny because Javier looked at me and I look at him and I said, "It's you, only can be you." And he said, "Do you think?" And I said, "No, of course, it's not me, Portuguese water dog." And when they called me, I swear to you, that was them. "No, it must be a mistake. It's not me. I'm not going to that trip." And then people like, "What?" And I said, you just go in. And I said, it's not me. And they just pushed me inside, like, just go. And I just It's like, my God, I felt a really bit like stupid after, but it was like amazing. It was a really great feeling, and it was best in show first for a Portuguese water dog to win on that show. Exactly 10 years ago that I went the second one, won the second one. So
wonderful. Well, then we have a special plaquette which you wanted to share with us. Tell us why.
Yes, because there was a Portuguese Water Dog World Congress where a lot of Portuguese came here in Portugal, and it was and at the end people. I started seeing Tiago, all the family like together, and my friends and someone, and they called me at the micro, and they gave me that statue to say thank you. It was Carla giving to the CPC. Thank you for all the work and in handling that you have done with our Portuguese water dog. And that was quite a proud moment. Moment.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we always need to understand that the work we do, it's not just for us, and it's not just for the breed, but it's also for the Kennel Club. It's also for the country. I mean, you have put the Portuguese water dogs in a spotlight everywhere in the world, and that's not just a big thing for you, and not just a big thing for the breeders and owners of these dogs, but also a huge thing for the Kennel Club. So I'm happy that the Kennel Club has recognized your contribution to that. This must be Crafts when Antonio won the finals.
Yes.
We have seen a lot of photos from there. Tell us about that.
That was a real special day for us. It was like it was like very, very, Antonio was nervous. I was nervous, and I was feeling a bit alone because Tiago was here at home. And so I was all alone in that crowd, and I was when I saw him going for the 10th first, I couldn't believe it. I phoned Tiago, and it was like, Tiago said, "Are you okay?" Because I was shaking, my voice was shaking, everything. And I said, "You went to the 10th." And then when he won, and I saw that reaction, and I couldn't go near him, I had to go all around. It was like, and to knew that once that was my dream too, and my son did it, it was just amazing. It was really, really amazing. It was, I will never forget that day. Never. Because being in there and saying, because I went twice, I was second best junior handler of the year twice, and so I couldn't go. And then to be there and see that Antonio did it, it was quite, and I knew that it was his dream to go to Crafts, and it was quite amazing, quite amazing. I will never forget that time. Yeah.
I think many people will never forget that, because it must be one of the most emotional moments in general in the dog world. I mean, his reaction when he won, it's, I mean, I still have this picture in my head, and I think everybody in the world knows about that. And I mean, that's really when we talk about, about dogs, about what it, because there are so many things that are happening in the dog world, and bad things and gossips and when the governments and PETAs and everybody, but when you see something like that, a child fulfilling his dream in that way, then you know that we are on a good side of the story, and that we are in a good, good sport and a good community, because these are the things that you never forget. I mean, the emotions and the experience that these children get, from the dogs, and you said, sometimes it's even bad because you have these young people who are completely obsessed with the dogs. And that's why I think we need so much to fight for the hobby, for the sport, for the dog world, however you call it, to be able in the future to experience moments like this, like he experienced as a junior handler, like you experienced as a mother. I think it's just amazing. Okay, let's go more now to the Portuguese water dogs. Again, 3 photos, again, a collage of 3 photos. Tell us about this.
First collage is the podium. It's when Cash the dog that we are showing now, and that one in Sweden and Finland, it was his first show with us in Porto. We did first day, second best in show, and on the second day we went best in show, and we felt really like it's our time again.
Okay.
It's like, and we were together, and it was so nice for us to be together. And my kids just said to me, "It's your time again." So it's, and I'm sorry, when I talk about them, it's like they are really, my husband and my kids are really our supporters. I think we are a great family. I mean, we support each other, and we just, even if we were down, my kids will say, just go up, go. And Antonio said to me, "You see, you did it again." And I will never forget. That's why the photo on the podium.
Yeah.
And then the other, sorry, and then the other is I'm sorry. The club specialty, where is Rooney Terge, the judge, Janeiro, and when Cash came, it was a really funny story, because some people don't understand. Me and Rooney were always competition, always in dogs. I mean, Portuguese water dogs, but we were always competition in the ring and outside. But we had always been polite with each other, and outside we could just go for a coffee. If we won, I lose, or we would always go for a coffee. And one day Rooney told me that maybe one day I would love for you to one day to show me a dog. And I did on that show. And it was funny because the judge that was judging us, he was saying, "My God, it's so nice to see you on the both side, on the both side, because I had you in different times and I had to judge you both. It was so difficult for me. And now for the breed, it's so good to see you together." And I will never forget that. It was Laurent Pichard that told me. And he just said, "It's so nice for the breed."
Wonderful.
For someone. Yes. And the photo behind, it's the Cash moving. It's us always having fun. I just love him. I really love Cash. And it was quite nice to being the one chosen for this career in Portugal and around. And so I think he made me feel a bit again like alive. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. We all need moments like that from time to time.
Yeah.
We are closing the photos of your life with these two amazing photos from the last two amazing wins with which we have actually started the interview. Tell us about that.
First win, I was, how would I say? It was not a new win for me, but again, I was outside and I thought, it's not the second time again, because then they will start again for the fourth to the first. And there was some judges showing outside, showing their dogs, and they knew Cash. One of them was in Sintra, they saw him, and he looked at me and he said, "It's you." And I said, "Not me again." And he said, "Yes, it's you." And when they called Cash, it was quite amazing, to go with a Portuguese water dog again on that ring. And it was like, wow. Every time that I think about all my life, I think about my family, I think about the breed, I think about all my friends, and it's all those winnings are for them. Yeah. All those winnings are for them. Yes, and these last ones were really quite special, because I was 10 days away from home. I had a litter, and I had to decide myself if I was going or not. And again, it was Antonio that told me, just go. Yeah. And you'll do whatever, you do what you know to do. You just go and enjoy, and I think you deserve to be there. And so all my winnings are for them.
Yeah, I think it is, of course, when you you meet different people in your life, and always there are different things, when you talk, when you have the interview, always get kind of feeling about this or about that. The kind of feeling that you give to me, and I think to everybody who is watching, when you talk about your family, is very special. Everybody can easily see that the family is incredibly important for you, and I think that's so special. I think in the world of dogs, we are all a big family, but you know it from your own experience. Every family has ups and downs, but to have that kind of support at home, I think this is really magical. So I think we can all be in a way happy for you, and in the same way a little bit jealous that you have such a fabulous family who supports you so much and loves you so much. And the way how you talk about them, I think it says it all. We have only a few more questions, Marta, to finish this interview. You were a young girl when you started with the dogs. You have been growing in the dog world. You were getting your success slowly. When you think about all the advices that you got as a young girl, which one would be maybe the advice that you would like to give now to all the young people who are trying to become successful in the world of dogs? What is maybe the best advice that you ever got in your life?
The best advice that never stop, never say that just go on learning always. I am 48 years old, and I'm still learning with each dog that I handle, with each breed that I handle. I never say that I know everything, because I really go mad when someone says to me that, I know, you don't have to tell me. And the small kids, when they tell you this, I just go, listen, young man, you just have a lot to learn, because I'm still learning. And that's I think, and especially being modest. I'm sometimes people say that I'm too modest, maybe a bit too much, but I still prefer like that.
Yeah, for sure it's a better way. I agree about that. I think we meet far too many people who know it all, so I think it's nice also to have a little bit of these modest people who can accept the thing that you learn every day. And as you said, with every dog show, with every judge, with every experience, you always learn something. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but you always learn something. Tell me, Marta, what are the plans for the future? What are the dreams for the future? What is there something that you still want to do in the world of dogs?
Do I say 1, 2, or?
You can say whatever you like.
My dream was, I keep saying since, because to me to win anything with a Portuguese in a big show was like a dream. So now my dream is to put them in best in show, like in a World Dog Show, or who knows, Crufts. I know I'm crazy, but you never know, But, again, it's Antonio that says, why not? They just go like, what? But it's like, I would love to put them in one of the biggest show. That would be, I think that might be the reason for my retirement one day, if I do that like that. And start thinking about the idea of being a judge, maybe, just maybe.
Now all the judges who are judging big shows are thinking, no. We cannot give her best in show, because if we give her best in show, she will retire. So that's not good for the breed. Return is better. Okay, wonderful. Okay, tell me, Marta, for the end of this interview, we have mentioned a few times, we are all, the dog world is experiencing very difficult times. There are more and more these rules and regulations from the kennel clubs, from the governments. There are more and more restrictions on breeding, on showing, on grooming, on whatever you want. The dog world for sure is changing. How do you see the future of the sport? Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? Do you think that the breeding and the dog shows in 10 years are going to look the same as they look today? Or do you think it's going to be a lot of changes?
I think it will be because there already you can see a lot of changes, but I think there will be more and more if we are not. I think we must be united, all of us. It's not like you don't see many union. You say like you know what I mean? Sorry.
Unity.
Yes, you don't see many. I mean, in the dog world, you sometimes you see some kind of discussions and public discussions that if people from outsiders see that, they must be very happy for that.
Well, that unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it happens. I say many times that we are our own worst enemy sometimes.
Yes, that's what I think. And we really should think all about it, because then I think we'll have hard times in the future in the dog world, I think.
Well, I mean, I can agree about that. I think we all need to start from ourselves, and think maybe how we can improve the things and what can be done better and what can be done in another way to save the sport, because in a way. I think maybe one of the most amazing things of this Talking Dogs with Ante, is to meet people like you and to give the possibility to people who are watching now live and so many people who are watching, going to see this in the future, to show them this, passion about breeding, about showing, about conditioning, the passion about family work, about, united work, about getting the results together. I think that's such an amazing thing. And with all the good things and the bad things, I think dog world is an amazing place to be. And I think we should really try in every possible way to save it. Let's see what the future will bring. Marta, we were talking for 2 hours. I have really, really enjoyed the evening. There have been a lot of really interesting stories. I have enjoyed to see your passion, not only for the dogs, but as I said, your huge passion for your family. I think that's so rare nowadays. And I think not only you are lucky to have the family like that, but I think they are also very lucky to have you in their lives. I have really enjoyed it. The viewers have really enjoyed it. There have been a lot of comments. I hope you can see them later on when we finish this, because I obviously didn't read all of them. I want to say that next Wednesday I'm going to have the first round table of the year. We are going to talk a little bit about the year behind us and a little bit about the year in front of us. My guests are going to be Mikael Nilsson from Sweden, Tanna Greche from the UK, and Diego Garcia from the USA. So it will be a nice round table with different topics and different subjects to discuss. As usual, I'm leaving the last words of the evening to you, Marta, to say something to all the people who are watching this live tonight and to all the people who are going to see this interview in the future. Last words of the evening from your side.
I just did it.
Yes.
I survived, and I'm quite happy for it.
I think it's very nice that we did it, and I know you were a little bit unsure about how it will go, but it went wonderful, and we have really enjoyed your stories, and it was really a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I'm sure that there are coming nice comments, but my internet is so bad on my computer that I'm not able to catch so much about it, but I'm sure you will be able to see it later on. I have really enjoyed our talk, Marta. I really hope that the future will bring you the dreams that you are dreaming. I hope that we will see each other in live soon, somewhere around the world. I wish all the best to you and to your family, and see you soon somewhere. And to everybody who was watching, thanks a lot for watching, and see you on Wednesday, same place, same time. Good night, everybody. See you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
I'm Elena, veterinary nutritionist of Monge, and today I'm here to explain how the chestnut can be very useful ingredients for our dogs. Pepe is eating a diet formulated with horse chestnut because it's enriched on tannins, which are antioxidants, able to slow down the peristalsis, increasing the digestibility of the nutrients, but at the same time also have a strong antioxidant effect at the intestinal level.